Albert A. Walt, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 141 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor and Damon. What's up, guys?
We're getting close to 150. What did we say that means again?
Nothing?
No, it's around Halloween, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We were thinking about doing a live stream for that one.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to.
I think we should do a live stream.
Well, and the thing is, you definitely have to get us over to Teespring at that point, because we'll have to give something away.
Yeah.
A few things.
Yeah, we're starting to move over to Teespring, and Teespring, actually, we were just kind of talking about this before the show. Teespring's got some cool products that we didn't have in our other store, you know, like some tumblers and some pint glasses and some better masks, socks, yeah. So there's some cool stuff over there, and once we fully get transitioned over to there, it just takes a lot.
Have you seen the wraparound ones where they take the logo and kind of wrap them around the whole shirt? They're really cool.
Yeah, there's some really cool options in there of what we can do. And bucket hats, of course, bucket hats.
Which I still don't have one, by the way, everybody. I mean, I don't know how long it takes to click one button and send me something, but I guess.
Didn't you want like a custom one, though, with your name on it? Wasn't that a thing?
No, I don't want one with my name on it. That's silly. I just want a bucket hat with Welcome Home on it. That's it, man. That's all I'm looking for. It's a button press, man. That's all it is a button press. Come on, Tom.
I'll get it done.
All I can think of is the hat that Grunkle Stan makes Dipper. But I can see like Damon with like the badly sewn on letters on it.
Yeah, I'm just looking for a regular one, man. Nothing special. Wait, now
I'll get it to you. I'll get it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll be talking about this on episode 145, I'm sure, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I will. All right, I'll commit to you. I will get this done today. How's that?
Okay, I like that. I like that as an option.
Yeah. Give myself a deadline, or I'll get it done.
I have all these sorts of deadlines. This is the funniest thing. So like, I'm trying to just send my license over for this contract. I told you I bought a contract at Riviera for 100 points, and then the one that I'm on with my parents for 150. Right, is just like a pain. Like, so I sent over my license. It's a PDF at this point, right? And they're like, no, it doesn't work. We can't read this. We can't read that. We can't read this. So finally the lady called me again. So, the second time they did it, I sent them the same file. So the lady calls me yesterday and I'm like, hey, I just bought a 100-point contract not 2 weeks ago with the same file. Like, what is the difference? I don't get it. And I can't understand that. Not only that, but I can tell you I'm also having trouble signing up for, my monthly dues. I can't get it to stick. Like, I guess I'm going to have to call up. Like, my other two contracts have them on there. And all I do is I hit the button that says, like, add this contract with this bank account. And it just keeps failing out. It's so annoying. So I guess I'm going to have to call and get that square.
I think you have to do it in the beginning of the year, or else you can't do it. Because I had an issue with that.
Oh, is that what it is, maybe?
I think so,
There's a time window on it?
I think so, because
even on a new contract, you think?
Yeah, you know what, though? It shouldn't apply to a new contract, right?
No, I'm not trying to pay like $800 right now, man. I mean, I will if I have to, but that just seems rather annoying. I thought you may be right, but I don't think so, because I think last time I did it in the middle of the year. But who knows?
I know I had the issue where I think I told you guys where I thought I was enrolled in the automatic deduction for the one contract because my other ones were, right.
You have to set them up separately. Yeah.
You have to set them up separately, and I guess I forgot that, right. But by the time I found that out, like they were like, oh, you can't sign up for monthly payments now. You got to pay the whole thing, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'll have to I'll make that call next week, and I'll report back in on what that situation is. But maybe you're right for the first year. I don't see why, but I will definitely report back in. I also do have another, hat related thing to kind of talk about. While I make fun of the grandpa hats, I'm going to tell you that as an option for tennis, now that I've started playing tennis with my daughter, you really can't go with the flat brimmed, snapbacks to play tennis.
It doesn't do it. Yeah, it doesn't do it.
It just doesn't do it. So, again, now I think that, I may not wear them in the park, but for wearing them at tennis, that's super interesting. But there is still the biggest piece of information at all. Did you guys read Alexis's post?
I didn't.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah.
Oh, about
so,
leaving someone camping? Yeah. I thought she was joking. I thought there was a joke there I was missing.
No. I think that's what's crazy. So for people that don't know, and actually, I'd love for Alexis to give us a little bit more information. I wasn't going to necessarily pry, but I guess she was wearing the Haunted River Country shirt somewhere. Again, I know where she lives, right? Because friend of a friend and all that. In Pennsylvania is my guess. That's where she was camping. And somebody recognized the Haunted River Country shirt. So we had a listener of the show that kind of was
Mini
like,
meetup.
I mean, that's kind of cool though. I think that's one of the coolest things that's, kind of shown us where our numbers are trending and what's going on. I think that's super duper cool. But if Alexis has more info, I'm sure the story is probably not as exciting that, the three of us think it is, but it's still exciting for the three of us, right? So we'd love to hear if there was any other information. Like maybe that person was just like, oh, hey, yeah, I listened to that too. And she's like, oh yeah, me too. Cool. And that was it. But I don't know. That's still really neat for me. Like that's really cool.
No, I find that stuff very cool too. I mean, I like I said, I thought she was joking. I didn't think she was being serious because the first comment was from somebody else saying, and it wasn't me. And I was like, am I missing a joke?
But that's her.
somewhere?
That's one of her very good friends. So that's why.
See, I didn't know that.
Yes. So super cool though. Super cool.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the new Teespring store actually has hats. Now the question is, do we want to let people buy hats if they want to? Although it's
absolutely not.
But it's not the embroidered hats, though. So it's
no.
hats.
No, they are the embroidered hats. There's an extra fee to set them up, by the way, for
really?
baseball
I didn't
hats.
know that. I have to look at that.
See, again, like I've already been invested in this already, right? So I know this, but I don't think so. I'm sorry to say, everybody, we can't do it, man. We can't do it.
Hats are still too special.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, well,
but we can get our
hats
through there, though.
That's what I was thinking, actually. Yeah, if that's the case, we can get the next batch through there, and then we can just send them from the store. Yeah,
that would actually be kind of cool, right? You could do a sample order and then just send them to whoever you want. Absolutely,
exactly. Yeah. So I know we're talking about.
Maybe Tom will work on that today too. I mean, I'm just saying, if my bucket hat was embroidered instead of printed, I mean, I'd be a lot happier. That's just me, though. What am I?
I didn't see an option for embroidering the bucket hat.
I didn't.
It is a new item, so it is a new item. So but yeah. So I mean, we're excited to move everything over there because those of you that did get Haunted River Country shirts, I think they came up pretty nice and they're good quality. So yeah, even though we had that one mistake where poor Tanya got the wrong shirt, outside of that, I think everybody mostly had a decent experience. So. But they did fix it. They did. She got her right shirt, so it just took a little while. So anyway,
right? Yeah, I was gonna say we're coming about 10 minutes into this, and we haven't even hit topic 3 yet on on the rundown. So
we just like to start off with general banter, right?
Just random stuff. Yeah,
general banter. I will say
wait, before we even get there, we still have to call out our very good review that has not actually posted yet, but that was in a poetry, a poem.
Can I read that? Can I attempt to read that?
Please read it. Yeah, although I'm not gonna lie, I don't like mine. Both of your parts were positive. I feel like mine was a negative.
I don't think it was a negative. It was just I get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it rhymed too. That's the thing.
And Tom, it's okay. My son is like, hey, all the reviews up there that are bad are all about you. I said, no, there's still one of Tom though. And he's like, you're right. He goes, but all of them besides that one are about you. I was like, that's absolutely correct.
But see, did you tell him that you wear that as a badge of honor? That's not like a.
Oh, he knows. He knows.
I'm sure
he knows the deal. Yeah. All right, you want to read it, Trevor? Do you have it up?
Yeah. So Christy posted this, and I don't know if I'm going to do this justice or not, but we'll try anyway. So she wrote a 5-star ditty for us, is what it's called. I finally made it through each episode to date. It's time for my review. Your podcast I will rate 5 stars for Tom, so he won't have a fit. Kudos to Damon. He makes the show legit. Trevor's voice is soothing, Canadian through and through. You guys keep improving. No other podcast will do. I love to hear the news. Even when you bicker, you each have your own views that makes the podcast slicker. Keep up the good work. It's such an awesome show. In the group, I will lurk, so I'll be in the know. It's so good.
Man. That's impressive.
Yeah, so good, except for the part about me throwing a fit. I don't think I throw a fit, but it rhymes. It rhymes. All right.
Well, and it's also a standing joke, so I mean, it's okay.
Of course, I'm okay with it. I really wasn't offended by it. I appreciated the lengths that she went to try to get a review posted, because she really tried hard. And then to write that and put that much effort into it, like, I swear to you guys, like, we have the best fans. It's just like, it's weird to me we have any fans, but the people that do listen to the show and are longtime listeners, even just recent listeners that are like really dedicated to the show, we just like appreciate it so much more than you guys know. Like, we just talk about it outside of the show, like, and we're just kind of in awe of a lot of you guys for your support. It's crazy to us, you know. So it has been since the beginning. Yeah. But it just feels even more so lately. So that actually leads us really into a shout out to our patrons, really quick. We got some new patrons to our Patreon. So we got Michael, we got Corinne, we got Liz, we got Mike, Gina, Mary, and Dan. So a different Dan, new Dan. So thank you guys for joining on Patreon. We're having a real fun time with it, especially inside the Discord and you know, some of the fun things that we're doing with this. And you know, like, for example, people got the rundown for today's show. They got it yesterday at like noon or like 1 o'clock or so. So they got to see what we were going to talk about well ahead of time. So, you know, one of those fun things. So anyway, we just want to recognize them and you know, listen. Everybody, we appreciate everybody that listens to the show, not just the patrons, but we do appreciate those that provide that support as well. So,
yeah, it means we can do fun stuff that, you know, stay tuned for that.
Yeah. I just don't like, you know, I think that there should be like a star rating for the order that Tom puts things in.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just don't necessarily love your order. You always try to put all the good stuff at the end because you know that I'm going to leave and then you want to talk about it. How the heck does Club Cool get that far down on this list? Man, that should be like the first item after DVC news.
See, you say this, but I do these things on purpose. Like, you know, you gotta have something to keep people wanting to listen throughout the show, right? Like, you know,
yes. But your DVC news is terrible. It's terrible.
I mean, we don't have to read that one. I just thought I thought we all like games here, and I thought that was kind of a fun idea. Anyway,
that's DVC news.
Yeah, it's DVC specific. Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
There's not a lot of DVC news most of the time, okay? So...
I mean, that's like the least interesting thing.
You know, I just thought both of you guys were into board games. I thought that...
I mean, but this isn't a board game, though.
Operation is barely a board game, yeah.
I mean, it's a skill-based carnival game is what I'll give you. And it more is like how can you stop somebody else from bumping your arm while you're playing? Like, it kind of turns into a little bit of a brawl in our house.
Yeah. Listen, we don't have to talk about DVC Operation. That's fine.
We've already talked about it at this point.
There
yeah. There you go. See? So it was so disinteresting that you guys already talked about it. So anyway, no, I just thought it was interesting. I like the idea of all the different logos of all the different resorts. And, you know, it was kind of fun that they just made it their own DVC edition of Operation. It's weird.
It's a pretty bad attempt, though. Like, dude, look at it.
It's
it's terrible, man. Like,
I thought it was fine.
It's fine. How do you even know what this is? So forget about it. So take out the cards for a second. But like, dude, it's a penguin. It's a paintbrush. Like, the monorail I'll give you, but like a conch shell, a rose.
They all make sense to me. No, they make sense to me.
They make sense in, you know, again, but if I hand this to a non-Disney person, it doesn't make sense.
Well, that's why it's DVC exclusive, right? So
yeah, whatever. This is a pretty bad attempt. I mean, couldn't even use the logos of the like.
They're not
the
even.
Logos would be cooler.
Hibiscus. What's hibiscus? Which one is that? Like, what's that supposed to be? Like
that would be Alani.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah,
because the Tiki Idol is Polynesian. Which the thing is these little pieces that they have in here. You know, they have a label below them because if you didn't,
you'd have no idea what they were.
Yeah, like there's no texture to them or anything. It's
like you have flying fish, pail and shovel. What are they? And conch shell.
Pail and shovel, I guess. Pail and shovel. Beach Club,
okay. Or maybe Hilton Head.
See, again, you proved my point. Okay.
Yeah.
You proved my point, my friend.
I don't know these logos well enough outside of like, you know, 2 or 3 of them. I know the racehorse
the logos,
Saratoga.
right?
The
Yeah, they're not
logos would
even
be
logos.
fine if they were the logos.
Well,
that would be cool.
well, yeah, but I guess these are pieces from like the racehorse is very prevalent in Saratoga Springs, right?
Yeah, yes.
So-
But again, if you don't have the eyeglasses that say Disney Vacation Club on them, like, to me, this is terrible. And they're in shells. They're not even like, I don't know.
The one that says Rose,
Yeah.
what the heck is that?
Grand Floridian, maybe? Because it has the
No,
enchanted rose?
like it's literally like a square.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't look like
It's a rose in a case, maybe, because again, right, you go into the whole bell and like that sort of thing. Like, it's got to be a rose in a
But
case.
penguin would be Grand Floridian, though, right? Because they've got the penguin statue inside the DVC resort.
Okay, now we're talking about this.
See,
like,
see
longer
what
than I
happened.
thought.
See what happened. You guys
We're
thought
talking
it was a
about
dumb
its
topic.
stupidity, though.
Yeah.
We talked about it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to take some of those Operation Disney Vacation Club dollars and spend them at the park here. That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh, some of these fake dollars right here.
Yeah, man.
I mean, Operation doesn't come with fake money though. Like, is it just like a variation or something?
No. You get paid when you take something out.
Yeah,
Really?
that's
yeah.
how
That's
it's
how
supposed
game
to
works, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
I never played it that way. We just always would take stuff out, like was never like
No, because each
money
thing.
involved.
Well, yes, there is, because each thing is harder than the other. So certain things were worth X amount of dollars, but then other things were worth more. Like,
I'm just saying,
There's a
when we were a
risk
kid,
reward to it.
we probably lost the money at some point, and so when I was a kid, we probably just tried to take the bones out. So like, I haven't played Operation since I was like 5. Like, I don't know the last time I
guess
played
so.
this.
All right. Listener questions. We got to get off of this now.
Yeah, let's okay, closing this.
I feel like all the listener questions are Genie Plus. But
Okay, well
That's okay.
then, this should be quick.
all right, so Dan says, do any of you plan on using the Disney Genie app, not the paid parts, just the plain Genie Planner portion?
I mean, why
Yeah.
wouldn't you? It's right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Yeah. I mean, I use the Touring Plans app all the time, and it seems like this is going to be an official Disney version of it. So yeah, why wouldn't I?
And I mean, the thing is, you can look at it and then go, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
And-
we'll figure out what that data means at some point, right? Like, I think that the first few times, or until there's like somebody writing it up, that data is going to be, extraneous in terms of what does it mean. But once we figure out what it means, yeah, definitely, I think that would be good.
Yeah,
Yeah, why not use the tools that are available, right?
exactly. I mean, it's, the whole thing, people getting annoyed about, having to use Genie Plus, or not Genie Plus, but just the Genie app. The thing is that it really does level the playing field for everybody. Like, if you all have access to the data, why would you not use it? And then, further to that, people talking about, touring plans, or, it taking over touring plans. But yeah, if we'll have
You got
to
to
see
pay for Touring Plans. Touring Plans is free.
yeah, we'll have to see how that actually plays out. Like, it's it may not be good, and it may end up getting ignored anyway, right? So,
Well, it's going to be interesting because Adam's question, who's piggybacking on this, said, do you guys think that Genie will push a blanket forecasted wait time to everyone like the app does now? With the current wait time, it will be staggered for users. So it gives a good example. So Tom gets the mansion at 15-minute wait at 10, Trevor 15-minute wait at 10:30, and Damon 15-minute wait at 11 a.m. Or just tell everyone 10 a.m. Whew, it would be great if it did that, man. But that's I don't think people realize what sort of computations have to go into that. I mean, totally doable, but I don't think I don't think so. I mean, I think it would be good, but I just think that's a lot of weird data to be pushed around, especially right from the get-go. I think it's going to be one of those things where maybe as it learns, but I don't think from jump. I mean, that would be great though. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's what it will do. That would be good. But I don't know how it would manage all of that in terms of people that are not using Genie or just going places because, it would be tough for it to figure that out.
yeah, I couldn't see it doing, individual calculations, but yeah, it's, kind of like how it is now. You'll get the blanket push, and if you think about it, people will just naturally kind of drive that because, to the, this example is, I may be looking at the app at 10 a.m. and Tom and Damon aren't, so I'm going to see, 15 minutes. But then, by the time, let's say Damon looks at it at, 10:30, Haunted Mansion may be up to 25 minutes. So it's going to change the data anyway. Like it's going to, it may not, it's not going to look or it's not going to be individually tailored, but I get the feeling that, as people are looking at the app and as it refreshes, it will do some calculations probably on the client side, based on waiting, attraction wait times and all that. But yeah.
And I mean, it's going to track where you are as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
In theory. So I think it should be able to make some good guesses on that.
Well, and the way it's been described, like in the announcements they've done, has been that it's going to personalize it to what your family wants to do, that kind of thing. So I do think that it's going to be a situation where you have all the information available to you all at once, but they're probably going to promote like one option to you. You know what I mean? Where it's going to be like, hey, you guys like Haunted Mansion, you should go to Haunted Mansion now, but it might not promote that same option to everybody at the same time. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe.
So I can see it being like that where all the information's available, but it tries to get you to go to a certain place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that'll be client side, right? Like that won't be the server, analyzing data. It's the client taking the data and then manipulating it based on, your selections.
Yeah, so I mean, like, if it's really like learning like my family's preferences, right? Maybe it knows that I really love Big Thunder, or maybe it's going to ask us beforehand. Maybe before we get there, there's a thing we do that says my family likes thrill rides, my family likes scary rides, and then make suggestions based on that.
Wait, so scary rides and thrill rides, so then nothing, right? You just go home and you go somewhere else. Gotcha. Okay, just making sure.
So it's working, but
yeah.
No, the what I saw was in the video you can go into the options and you can there's tick boxes for the different attractions and whatnot, and it will. So you can set all.
Yeah, let me rate what I want to rate, like what I like the best.
Yeah,
and then those will, maybe it'll promote it to people differently based on. Maybe it will try to spread it out. I don't know. Well, I tend to think they're going to try to, but
yeah, I mean, and that would be something that they could do because it's not real time calculations. It's a little bit different, right? So I think that would be something that would be doable.
See, I'm just going to tick off Haunted Mansion, nothing else, and see what it does. It just keeps like.
Recommending it
every 30 minutes is like, hey, you can get back on Haunted Mansion.
See how that works. It's going to eventually go like, hey, maybe you want to ride something besides Haunted Mansion. Here's the wait time for Big Thunder. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's a lot to be seen still with this, right? But I tend to think they are trying to industrial engineer this, and try to really make everything as efficient as possible and try to move people to different places. So that is the downside, right? Because with touring plans is you're just getting raw data. That Disney's going to manipulate this in some way, shape, or form, I'm assuming, to make people go where they want them to go. It's going to
be like Waze, and they're going to be like, hey, you're next to this and it's lunchtime. Maybe you should go get some food.
That's what it's going to be, right? Yeah. Yeah, I really believe that, but I don't think that's a bad thing. And Damon, we were saying this, I think, after you left. Like, if even if they're manipulating the data, if I'm waiting 15 minutes for Haunted Mansion, I don't really care if they manipulated me into going to Haunted Mansion. I care that I waited 15 minutes. You know what I mean?
I would agree with that. But what if it's going to be microphone open and it's just going to be like, they said they wanted to go to Haunted Mansion, but I'm hearing Big Thunder really in their discussions here, so we're going to send them over that way.
I mean, it's possible.
If your family's overly sarcastic, that could really work against them.
Yeah, we've directed you out of the park to the monorail. Thank you very much for your time here at Disney.
Yeah.
Have a magical day.
Exactly. All right. So let's see. So I think that this is something that's super interesting. I don't know if I have an answer for this, but Chrissy said, if you were Disney, what, if any, extra benefit would you give to people staying on site? Or do you feel that the 30 minutes before the park opens, isn't it at night too, though? And 7 a.m. Genie and plus?
Yeah, they have
at night for deluxe resort folks.
As well as DVC, though, right?
Well, yeah. So because all the DVC resorts are deluxe. So yeah, anybody saying DVC or deluxe gets the nighttime hours. But it's interesting.
Wait, is it 30 minutes before the park only DVC?
No, 30 minutes before the park opens, all resort guests can go 30 more minutes before the park opens every day, all parks.
So how is that really an extra benefit to us? Oh, she's saying to staying on site. Okay, not DVC. Yeah. Okay, my fault.
So a lot of people I've seen in the group saying that Disney has basically taken away all of the perks to staying on site. Because, you used to get the 60 days out for the fast passes. That's gone. But that's just gone in general, right? Like, so that's not even like, that's just an extra benefit gone. So some people are like, well, why would I stay on site now? Because you don't get the extra benefits. So I think what Chrissy's saying is the 30-minute early opening and the 7 a.m. Genie Plus reservation sufficient?
And the buses. The buses are a big deal for me. Like, when I look at this question, I don't care about anything else except the buses. Like, just thinking about staying at the Wyndham, it was great. There's no doubt about that. But, I don't really want to drive to the park. Nobody wants to drive to the park, man.
Transportation in general, right? Some people like driving to the park. I have no desire to do that.
not if I'm in Florida. Like, if I lived in Florida and I wasn't staying anywhere there, then sure. But if I'm staying in Florida, that's a vacation for me. Nah, I'm not trying to drive. So that's the big deal for me. It's sufficient enough for me, honestly. I mean, I don't know what else you need to give people.
See, like, I don't feel like I need extra perks. Like, I think there's just a different feeling to staying on site. Like, it's just you're inside the bubble, being in that themed area. It just feels different, I think. Now, given I haven't stayed off-site, so I don't know what that feels like. I've always only ever stayed on-site. So I mean,
I've stayed off-site in terms of, just this last time at the Wyndham. I've also stayed at Gaylord Palms, which I love, by the way. And then we had a drive to everywhere we wanted to go, right? It wasn't just Disney per se, but when we decided, we wanted to go to SeaWorld, right? We had to go and park, and man, that's just a pain. It really is. The only benefit, if it's at a smaller park, is that you could go to the car and like grab drinks, right? Like, save yourself $40. Yeah. But outside of that, nah, I'm rolling with these buses as my favorite perk here.
Can I say underrated perk is the is sending things that you buy from the parks back to your hotel? Underrated perk.
Yeah, when it comes back.
I mean, I've never had.
When
it comes back.
Day later. Yeah.
Well, no, he's saying I think they're not doing it right now.
They're not doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing is, we don't know if it's coming back.
Yeah, that was a good perk, though. That was like one of my favorites, man. I used to love that because you don't have to carry your stuff around with you. You just send it.
Yeah, I'm not trustworthy enough. I'm carrying it with me, man. Sorry.
You're worried that they're gonna like break it or something, or like
not just break it. It's gonna, the wrong thing's gonna show. Who knows? I just never had that as a. I'm always like, I'll just get it on the way out of the park. Thanks.
We actually we had a mug break on our last trip, so we bought a mug and had it sent back. And it got broken in transportation. But we just went back to the mercantile in the Polynesian, and they got us a new one. Like, they actually,
but effort though, right? Still effort,
but still effort involved,
right? But I guess the thing was, it was like, because it was in the middle of the trip, and because it was, we just went back. It was like, hey, this arrived, showed them the broken thing. They're like, okay, yeah, we'll get you a new one. We kept the slip, and then, we went about our day, came back a day later, and then it was like, oh, here's a new mug. Okay, done, right? Like, it wasn't, I guess
if there was no more mugs though.
Well, I mean, that would be amazing because, I've never seen, like,
but you see what I'm saying?
Sold out.
But what if it was something like an extra large shirt and they just didn't have any more left? See, like, that's what I worry about, man. Like, if I want something, I'll knuckle up and carry the bag on the way because I'm taking the bus anyway.
Yeah. I just like the idea. I like having no more responsibilities at the park than I need to have. You know what I mean?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. There is definitely something to be said for having the option. Like, and especially, if your kid, or for us, when our son was younger, he would want like a really big plushie or something like that. And yeah, when you're walking around the park, you're like, I don't really want to carry this big thing around. So yeah, having that option to get it delivered back to the resort is definitely that is a good perk, and hopefully that one does come back. Anything else as far as perks go, I feel like it's just icing on the cake because to your point, Damon, about buses and just transportation in general, like unless they move the poly where I can't walk immediately from the TTC back to my room before people get to their cars, like, you can't take that away from me. So yeah, I don't feel like there's really anything they could do at this point that would make me feel like that I need extra perks.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I know you can stay cheaper outside of the park, sure. But I just don't feel like you can beat the convenience of it, right? You can beat the convenience of the transportation, the convenience of the proximity. Like, there's just, there's just something different about staying in the resorts. There's something, it's more Disney-fied. It's more, dare I say, magical. You know,
unless like Disney suddenly like stopped doing the resort transportation, which I can't even fathom how they could rationalize that as a good idea. Like,
they don't even have enough parking spots at the parks for that, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? The Magic Kingdom, they already had to build a new parking lot recently. Can you imagine if they made all the resort guests to also drive? Like, that would be a nightmare. I just don't think they even want that. I think that that's part of the Disney vacation is that bus transportation. They have to have that. And then the other, you know, the Skyliner, the monorail, all that stuff. So,
right.
All right, so let's answer Blake's question. Do you think Disney will provide Genie Plus as a perk for DVC Direct members? As someone who's considering a first purchase, that would absolutely tip the scales for me on direct versus resale. I think there's no chance of this.
No
honestly.
chance. But Blake is definitely looking for something. Dude, if you're looking for something to make, like, I keep on hearing different things. Like, well, what if they did this? What if they did that? Dude, just buy DVC. I think you're there, man. I think you're there.
Okay.
You're worried. Yeah. Don't be worried, man.
So let me give some perspective on this. So Blake, you know, I know you're going to be listening to this. When we were looking at DVC, we were thinking, or at the time we were spending about $300 a night on a room. And that at that point we were far enough in that we were like, hey, you know, we're going pretty regularly. It makes sense for us to, you know, instead of paying this money, you know, yeah, it's a big upfront cost, but you know, we did the math on it where, you know, if you're planning to go to Disney over about 4 or 5 years, it kind of, you know, goes down to no cost or not like over those 5 years, you know, you'll end up spending less money than you would just paying out of pocket. Yes.
Yeah.
So here's something interesting that I didn't factor in was how fast the price of hotels can scale up. So, you know, we were used to paying $300 a night. And even for the Polynesian back then, it was back, you know, like $300, $350 a night for a hotel room. I looked recently at staying, like the type of room that we stay at DVC. If we bought that out of pocket right now, it would be $1,200 a night. Ooh. So, you know, if you're worried about getting into DVC but you know that you're going to be doing this long term, it pays for itself long term regardless of any of the perks. Like, keep that in mind.
Yeah, and you know, I think the big advice I've always heard and gotten with DVC is that you can't buy DVC for the perks, right? Because the perks are constantly changing, right?
Yeah.
So
you do not want to buy in on just whatever the perks are being offered at the time. And that's not to say, I wouldn't be surprised if they do something with Genie Plus, kind of like how they did the Platinum Pass a couple of years ago, where you could get the Platinum Pass for the price of the Gold Pass. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave us, you know, a temporary discount on it or some kind of promo on it, but it's not going to just be a perk of DVC. I would never assume that.
I wouldn't assume that either. I mean, listen, it would be great, and it would be a game changer, right? Like if DVC came out and said, okay, direct members, Blue Card members get this as a perk, like that's a game changer. Like that really changes the math on buying resale, right? Yeah. But I just don't see them doing it. I mean, they might do it, but I just doubt it. I just don't see it as happening. So, but I agree with you, Trevor. They could do, and I think we said this on the last show or 2 shows ago when we talked about them rolling out Genie Plus, that, you know, this could be the new free dining. You know what I mean? Or at least in addition to free dining, where some of the packages that they do, they could say, hey, you get Genie Plus for free for your entire trip. You know, or something like that, right? Because at the end of the day, Genie Plus for them is actually it's just pure profit, right? Like it doesn't really cost them anything to offer this. Whereas the meal plan even costs them something. You know, that costs them something to offer it because you're getting food for it. This is it's pure margin, right? It's like,
technically no, because there is an infrastructure that needs to be managed. Sure. So there's that, but yeah, it's far less than the dining plan. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they give it away for free in some ways, but I just don't see them doing it as a DVC perk. But who knows? Because I also don't know how that would work. Like, I don't know if DVC would have to pay Disney technically to make that free, or how that works. Like, if they can just do that. You know what I mean? Because there's some weird stuff that happens there.
I feel it would have to be a negotiation. It's probably the same reason why, you know, Disney or DVC never got the dining plan as a promo. Like, I feel like the dining plan was something that would have been way too expensive for DVC to justify.
Yeah.
But, you know, Disney Plus or Genie Plus rather might be in that realm, you know, the same as, you know, discounts on park tickets and stuff like that. I could see that happening in the future.
Yep. I agree. Let's go ahead and do our ad. Actually, we're talking about resale. We'll do our ad for DVC resale. And then after that, we'll talk about Club Cool. Since Damon has to leave us and wants to talk about Club Cool, we will go to Club Cool. How's that sound?
Totally fair. All right.
Even though I put it way further down on the list here.
Yeah, man.
But it's our list. We're allowed to do it
Cool.
how we want. So
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Okay. DVC Resale Market, a World of DVC company, is the leader in the DVC resale industry with 13 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 3 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere, with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 98% of listings sell within 30 days. In 2020, DVC Resale Market helped over 3,600 families join or add on to their memberships. Go to dvcresalemarket.com or call 1-844-DVC-PROS, that's 382-7767. When you speak to them, please make sure you let them know that Welcome Home sent you.
All right.
Okay.
So, Club Cool. Club McCool.
Yeah, I saw the picture that you had, right? Like, and it looks really cool, but it also looks too fancy now. Like, I don't think that we are going to. I don't think it's going to be free. Like, I have this feeling there's going to be no samples. I don't know, man. I have this no sample feeling.
I see. Okay, so let's at
least not right away. But,
I know. See, I think it's going to be free, and the reason why I think it's going to be free is that, and I don't know if this has ever been confirmed or not, but there was always talk that Disney does not actually pay Coke for the product. Like the deal that they have, they literally do not. Pay them.
But we don't know that. That's
been rumor forever, and I don't know if it's true. But like, if that's true, then why would they charge for it, right? Like, I just feel like
hold on. So not only charge, but COVID, right? There's COVID's going on. So I don't necessarily, but I'm going to tell you, the facade is fire. This green hued glass Coca-Cola bottle look, dude, that was the best. Like, I would never thought of that, but that is the coolest thing for sure.
It's like looking through the bottom of a Coke bottle, right?
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm happy for it to come back, but I mean, even just kind of just peeking in there. I don't know, man. I don't know if we're going to necessarily get a free for all like we used to, again, for a multitude of reasons, right? COVID being one of them. And right. Cause you have to take down your mask to drink. I don't know. Maybe like Trevor said, maybe in the future, but I don't think right from jump that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see something akin to what we see in Disney Springs, to be honest with you. Yeah,
that could be true. Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying.
I hope not. I mean, cause I'm about, I'm not trying to, like, I guess what it really boils down to is, they mentioned that Beverly will be there. I'm not trying to ever pay for Beverly. Like, there's no fun in that.
Yeah. That's, it's funny that everybody seemed to, I noticed most of the Disney blogs missed the fact that they confirmed in this post that the Beverly's coming back. Cause it wasn't, as everyone assumed it, but like they didn't actually confirm it until this post, right? So Beverly's coming back. That's confirmed from this post. But, it's interesting too. I saw somebody post in another group that they thought the old one looked better. I'm like, how could you possibly think the old one looked better than I mean, this is purpose built. Like they put Coke cans and recycled Coke bottles in the floors. I mean, like you said, Damon, the entrance looks like you're looking into a Coke bottle. It looks amazing. Like, how could you think the old one looked better? And that blows my mind that someone thinks that.
I mean, the rainbow LED lights were great and all, but this is definitely
it's way cooler.
Yeah, the old one, it had a very 90s vibe to it, which I feel like we're getting far enough away from the 90s that it's becoming retro. which, you know, growing up in the 90s.
90s is definitely retro now. Yeah, 90s is definitely retro.
I mean, that makes me a little sad, but at the same time, you know, I'm kind of glad that, because at some point you'll see the opportunity for somebody to do something like that, but that doesn't mean that just because something had that aesthetic that it should come back with that aesthetic, you know. And for something like this, it definitely should be updated. To your point, Damon, I feel like, you know, you're not going to go and pay for a cup of Beverly, but I could definitely see them offering flights. And you know, the difference between this and, you know, the Coke store in Disney Springs is, honestly, when I'm at Disney Springs, I'm not big enough into Coke or soda that I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to the Coke store. But when I'm in Epcot and, you know, I'm like walking by this on my way to the land or wherever, I may stop in and consider buying a flight, you know, just to try some of those different, you know, sodas that you don't get in North America. So
yeah. No, I agree. I mean, we stopped at the Coke store one time at Disney Springs and did a flight, because they do have some different flavors there that they don't have at Club Cool. You know, there's some extra things, and like they have a lot of different flavors there. So, you know, that's something we did one time just to check it out. And plus it's like a rooftop bar kind of situation, and it's actually really cool and really nice. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess, I mean, maybe I'm just being hopeful here that they're not going to charge, but you know, I could also see it. And to your point, Damon, right now with, you know, the COVID type stuff, and you know, who knows, maybe it's going to have to be more of a controlled situation. Maybe you're not going to be filling your own cups. Maybe they'll just like pre-fill cups and hand them out. I don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like. I guess we're going to have to see. But I mean, according to this post from Imagineer Zach Ridley, this is opening very soon, is what he said. So just a bit longer as we approach the opening of Club Cool and our creation shop very soon. But man, I just thought this looked so cool. And I mean, I don't know if the original building it was in, if there was something there before that, because it was, there had to have been, right?
So I don't even know where this is at this point.
Oh, no. I meant the original building where it was, but because I'm saying this.
I thought that was demoed,
right? Yeah, no, it is demoed. What I'm saying is like how someone could think that the old one was better when it feels like they just threw it in there. You know, it was just an empty building. They threw it in there. Whereas this is like purpose built, you know, for Club Cool. But you know, this is where the new creation shop is. So it's right next to it. It's on the side. So I'm pretty pumped about this.
So it's on the other side of Future World, like when you're coming from Spaceship Earth, instead of it being on the right, it's on the left.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to visualize it in my head.
Sorry, that's how my head works. So behind the scenes is that I like start from a landmark like Spaceship Earth, and like everything is either like forward, right, left, whatever. So
you see, like now I feel like I have to pull up a Disney map here and look. I wonder if they have these marked off yet. I haven't been on.
I guess technically it would be southeast. Yeah, it would be southeast of Spaceship Earth. if I'm going off of a map, but yeah.
Oh man, why can't I wish I could get to this quickly.
I think we got time. I think Damon had to bounce here.
Did we lose Damon now?
Yeah.
No.
You're still here?
I'm in the midst of editing photos, so until I finish these 1, 2, 3, 4, I have about 10 left.
Got it.
All right, gotcha.
Okay. Fair
so
enough.
I mean, I'm hopeful that we get to talk about the snow on cruise ship thing. But
let's go.
It's tough because I don't know if I want to talk about snow on cruise ship or attractions announced for early theme park. You guys are going to drone on about early theme park attractions. So
I put the cruise ship one on here for you, Damon. So I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, snow on a cruise ship, right? So there's going to be new adventures on AquaMouse, the first Disney attraction at sea. Man, this is the only thing that makes me want to go on the Wish. I'll be honest with you. It looks really cool, but I can tell you, even though, I mean, Aqueduct, we just kind of went on it once or twice and that was it, because there's so much else to do. Like, I don't know. Like, it looks really cool, but I just don't know if it's like, how much of a game changer is it really? I'm not sure.
to have a full-on Disney attraction at sea? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it's not really a full-on Disney attraction. Let's be honest. I mean, it's not really. Right. The Aqueduct and even the AquaMouse, they're not long. You're still like, there's a lot of water going around. I don't know. I don't know if I would consider it an attraction. I guess it should be, but I mean, it's cool, but I don't think with the price of cruising that it is have to do it because of that. You kind of know what I mean? The problem with the Wishes is that all their cruises are short. Like, give me a 7-day Wish and I'm down.
I'm sure it'll be like that eventually, right? Is that just like that?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I don't necessarily think so, but I mean, at least not for a long time. It is cool though. The Aqueduct was just like, oh, okay, right? This seems like, oh, this is kind of neat. But again, it's not like other rides at Disney where you're riding them once and not again. Like if you're kind of riding this a few times, like, okay, it was cool the first time. But I think a really neat idea, and I think it's going to make, you know, again, it's just a stepping stone to what we're going to see going forward in terms of entertainment and rides on cruises.
Yeah, and I guess the question I have about this is like, do you get to choose? Like, 'cause it's the same ride, right? It's just two different shorts that's going to play on the ride, right?
Yeah.
But like, so do you get to choose, like, or does it play randomly, like, or certain days it's playing one and certain days it's playing the other? Like, because you know, if you want to go see both, like, how do you make sure that you get to see both? You know what I mean? Like,
dude, like again, if you're riding on.
Yeah, well, there's only two, right? You have a 50-50 shot, right? But
well, not only that, but like when you're riding that, it's not, again, you're on a cruise ship, right? There's not millions of people there. Like you're going to ride it a few times. Like it's not like you're riding it once and then waiting in line for 2 hours. So it's not that big of a deal, I don't think.
Okay, gotcha. So it's not like a crazy line. Like you can do it a bunch of times. Like
yeah, on a cruise, absolutely. You'll do it enough times that if there's a randomness to it, you'll be able to see them both, I'm sure.
I do like some of the details about this too, like that there's like hidden, there's like Easter eggs in all of these too, like Chip and Dale is hiding in each show somewhere, which they mentioned, which is kind of fun. But I mean, like, I don't know how much you can pay attention while you're on this ride and really like pay attention for those Easter eggs.
Well,
like,
I mean, I think that's why you're riding it more than once, right? I think you will be able to, you know, ride 2 or 3, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. See, look at that. We got that in before.
Yeah, but I want to get the attractions in, though.
Oh, you want to talk about this? Really? I thought you were going to find this one boring.
Well, I want to hear you guys. I mean, I want to get in my points before you guys start to drone on. That's usually what I like to do with these things.
All right. So attractions announced for early theme park entry. So this is the 30-minute entry early for every single park, and every day for hotel guests. So I'll just quickly run down through all these. So Magic Kingdom, Small World, Astro Orbiter, Buzz Lightyear, Dumbo, Mad Tea Party, PhilharMagic, Peter Pan, the Regal Carousel, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Space Mountain, Barnstormer, Winnie the Pooh, Tomorrowland Speedway, People Mover, Little Mermaid, and Carousel of Progress. Then Epcot is Beauty and the Beast Sing-Along, Frozen Ever After, Mission Space, Soaring Around the World, Spaceship Earth, Test Track, and The Seas. And then Hollywood Studios, Alien Swirling Saucers, Runaway Railway, Smuggler's Run, Rock and Roller Coaster, Slinky Dog, Star Tours, Tower of Terror, Toy Story Mania. And then Animal Kingdom is Flight of Passage, Dinosaur, Expedition Everest, Tough to Be a Bug, Navi River Journey, and Triceratops Spin. I'm reading this list and I'm thinking, what's missing? You know?
It's shows I guess in Animal Kingdom, the obvious one's Kilimanjaro. But,
oh yeah, that one is missing. Okay, yeah.
All right, so what's your take on this, Damon? Because we know
Damon,
time.
You wanted to make a take on this.
I mean, I guess it's more of like, what rides am I interested in, right? So, are people gonna? I just don't know how people are gonna. There is like a lot of rides. Like, why is everyone not going to Mine Train? Like, why would you not?
Like,
will. Yeah. I'm saying, like, what's the point of having Mine Train? Like, I think that Mine Train and Space Mountain, I don't know, man. I just don't think they should be on there. Like, that's crazy for me to say, but they I just don't know if they should.
Well, especially when I'm just noticing Magic Kingdom, Big Thunder and Splash Mountain are two that I'm noticing are missing there.
I'm surprised we're getting Space Mountain and Mine Train, but I mean, I guess that's good, but I just think that early entry is what, 30 minutes?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you have younger kids and you're not going to ride them, that could be the best announcement ever because no one's going anywhere besides those two, I feel like, right? Like you're going to have a fair amount of, I don't know. I think the lines will be pretty long at those and then they'll be short at the other one. So, I mean, I guess that's good. I mean, I look at EPCOT. Why is everyone not going to Test Track or Soarin', right? Like,
yeah,
that's,
you are.
or Frozen, I guess. I guess for EPCOT's a little bit better because again, everything kind of sits around like, yeah, you got the Seas and Spaceship Earth, but at least there's 3 out of those to kind of split everything up a little bit. Hollywood Studios, God, this is the one that I would have a tough time. Like, whew, what am I going on here? Like, I just don't think Runaway Railway should be on there, but.
I mean, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then.
It's a high capacity ride, though. They move a lot of people through that.
But yeah, 30 minutes, man. That's it. 30 minutes.
It's not a lot of time. Yeah, it's not a lot of time.
So
that's enough to get ahead of the crowd, though.
Yeah.
It definitely is enough to get ahead of the crowd. I just, like I said, I think that one's at least broken up a little bit more because you got that, Millennium Falcon, Slinky Dog Dash. There's more there. I think that Animal Kingdom, you know, you got Everest, Na'vi, Stupid Flight of Passage, and Dinosaur. That's fine, too. I think Magic Kingdom is the tough one. Because I mean, who the heck would get onto Philharmonic, right?
You didn't. There's no reason to do that.
Why would you? And the other thing is, why would you Small World either? Honestly,
Oh, there's no Small World there.
No, there is, but why would you go to that line though? Because you can always get on that.
You're right. Sorry, I was looking in alphabetical order.
No, I mean you can always get on that. Like, who would go to Under the Sea? Like, that's just craziness.
Yeah, that's not smart. That's not. I mean, some people probably would, but that's the people that don't know better, right? Like, you just if you don't know, then you don't.
I mean,
know,
I guess it's
right?
I guess it's not the worst because I mean it will kind of give people the chance maybe to kind of rope drop without rope dropping, right? Like you kind of just go to the first one that you want to go to. I just think that Magic Kingdom is going to be a little bit more skewed because you have, really, Mine Train is a huge high profile ride with a super long wait time, right? Really, there's nothing else that hits that wait time on this list.
Yeah,
most of the time.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, but not most of the time. You never really roll up to Mine Train. And I look at the other ones and I say to myself, okay, Test Track and Frozen, and Soarin' all together, kind of could hit that time. And then Hollywood Studios, Smuggler's Run, Runaway Railway, Slinky Dog Dash, they can all kind of hit that run as well. Like, I don't know. That's where it's kind of weird for me.
Well, it's, it's always interesting in the morning, right? When you go to, like, Epcot, I feel like you can see it more than most places because, like, when you do the rope drop at Epcot in the morning and they let everybody through, everybody either goes left or they go right or they go straight. So they're either going Test Track, they're going to Soarin', or they're going to Frozen. And
Absolutely.
I feel like, and it's just, you can really see that happening, right? So there's decisions to be made there. But, like, I feel like for Magic Kingdom, there's no decision. You got to go Seven Dwarfs, right? That's, like you said, it's the longest line. You knock that out first thing in the morning.
Absolutely. And again, it's not even what you like better or it's not even that. Like, it's like Tom's saying, it's based on just the number of the wait time.
Yeah.
Most of the time, that one kind of sits alone.
Yeah, if you have any intent of getting on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, that's the first thing you're doing. Otherwise, Space Mountain. Like that's real.
I don't even know. I'm going to tell you, Winnie the Pooh might take precedent over Space Mountain because I've never seen a short Winnie the Pooh line, but I have seen short Space Mountain lines.
I've seen 20-minute Winnie the Pooh.
Really? Okay.
I never see anything below 45.
How about Peter Pan, though? Have you ever seen a short Peter Pan ride?
No, but I ignore Peter Pan.
No, but Peter Pan's a classic, man. Like, if you're really into Peter Pan's flight, then rope drop that.
Yeah, okay, fair. But again, that's I've seen that one enough, and even like my son has no interest in it, so we just skip that one.
I guess what it is probably for us. Like I said, now the more we talk about it, we are seeing that there are things that do have longer lines. I still just don't think they compete with Mine Train, but maybe they do, and they're just not rides that we would go on because we've been there so often, and our kids are a little bit, besides Tom's, we're a little bit older. I don't know. It's an interesting list, though.
The one omission, the one omission for Magic Kingdom that confuses me is Big Thunder. Like, Splash Mountain kind of makes sense because a lot of people aren't going to want to ride that at 7:30 in the morning and get wet if it's chilly out in the morning. I get that. So, but Big Thunder to me doesn't make sense.
No, here's the entire left side of the park is closed, Tom.
Is that what it is? They're just
Yeah,
have the whole left side of the park closed.
I'm looking at this because there's no Haunted Mansion, there's no Pirates, there's no Jungle Cruise. It's the entire left side of the park.
Oh yeah, Jungle Cruise is missing too.
That makes a lot more sense than Trevor.
Yeah.
I get it then.
Yeah. Look, like I said, I kind of mapped all this out in my head, and I was like, they're just letting you into the right side of the park here for early access.
I'm still going Mine Train though, man.
Yeah,
I've seen the same thing. Like whenever we would do early access at Disneyland, they do the same thing. They would always open up Tomorrowland first. You could not get into, for some reason, it's like it's easier for them to open up the right side of the park than it is to open up the left side. I don't know what the logic is, or that's just what they've chosen to do.
Well, I forget what I was watching, but I didn't know this. I think it might have been behind the attraction where they mentioned that if you notice, the Tomorrowland path is wider than all the other paths, and that's because people in general just tend to go right. Like, people just tend to go right. Like, it's just a thing that people tend to do. So they purposely made that walkway a lot wider because that's kind of how most people will choose to go. But I don't know. It's funny you mentioned Jungle Cruise. I totally missed. Yeah, I just totally missed Jungle Cruise. I didn't even think about Jungle Cruise, but you're right. And then the Aladdin's not open either, right?
It's the entire left side of the park. Everything left of the castle is not open.
No Tom Sawyer Island, like all that is closed. That's really interesting. Oh, Pirates. Yeah, Pirates too. Totally forgot about Pirates. Yeah.
Haunted Mansion. Again, Liberty Square, Adventureland, and it's not called, Frontierland, yeah. Man, I wanted to call it Critter Country because Disneyland was in my head for a minute there.
It's funny. There's so much stuff at Magic Kingdom I just totally forgot about, like literally Jungle Cruise, Haunted Mansion, and Pirates. And I just didn't even think about those being closed. I just assumed they were there.
Half the park is not open for this.
Yeah, that kind of stinks. I mean, Haunted Mansion, Pirates, and Jungle Cruise at least should be open. That's, that kind of stinks. Because, if you're going to PhilharMagic, Mad Tea Party, even Dumbo, like, It's a Small World, like, forget all of those. Don't do, or Little Mermaid, like, that's, or Carousel of Progress, too. You should not be using the first 30 minutes of early park entrance for those. Like, you shouldn't be. Or for the carousel either.
Well, I will say this. So, okay, here's the part where we're going to drone on because I think we've lost Damon at this part. So,
he had an opinion on it. When I put it on there, I didn't think he would. So
yeah, you're right. But yeah, so here's the thinking on this is, if you're there multiple days and you're doing this every day, like you're not going to hit Seven Dwarfs Mine Train every day. It's going to be, you'll pick a day and you'll commit to. We want to get on Seven Dwarfs or Space Mountain. You can knock that out before anything else. On subsequent days, you may still want to get in early, but your people will have different priorities. And to your point, if you're getting there early just to get on Mad Tea Party, okay, I don't. I don't know. Yeah, but
no need to do that. There's just no need to do it,
right? But I mean, the thinking there too is talking about Peter Pan's Flight or PhilharMagic is if you could be hanging out in that area, knowing full well that go and do those things in the first 30 minutes. So you get out of PhilharMagic, you can go straight over to Haunted Mansion as soon as that area of the park opens up with at normal times. So there is something to be said for these attractions being open, so you're not just spending the first 30 minutes standing around waiting for the second rope drop, so to speak, right? So you can do something in those first 30 minutes with the if you have the intent that hey, I want to hit Haunted Mansion right away, or I want to get over to Pirates, you can kind of line yourself up so that you're at the back of the park away from, the crowd of people that's going to rush in as soon as it opens. And you could, potentially get there first before anyone else does. So
here's what we should do with this, right? Let's go through and say what your top 3 would be in all of these.
Okay.
Like what are the decisions that you would make? Between what 3 attractions would you have to make a decision?
Oh, I'm playing too. I'm still.
Oh, you're still here.
I'm on my last picture right now.
Okay. Just when we thought Damon was gone. Yeah. Okay, so my top 3 for Magic Kingdom, I go Seven Dwarfs.
Why 3? Why do you think you're going to get on 3?
I don't think I'm going to get on 3. I'm saying what decision would I have to make of those 3? Like, okay, what 3 would I have to make a decision between?
Sure. Okay, gotcha.
So I would say for me, I'm going Seven Dwarfs. I'm going to say
Nah, he's not saying Space Mountain.
I am going to say Space Mountain and Peter Pan. Those are my 3.
Oof, this is tough, man. Like,
it is, yeah.
I want to say, man, I got to throw Winnie the Pooh in there. Like, even though it's such a stupid ride, like the line's so long, I have to. I obviously Mine Train, and now I'm kind of stuck. I think I'm going to go Peter Pan's Flight because I think I could get on Space Mountain. I think I could get on Space Mountain during the day. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
disagree. Yeah. Space Mountain and Big Thunder are like those 2 rides will fluctuate between like 45 and sometimes.
Well, you can get lucky. You can get lucky if the park is skewed towards younger kids for that day, but you're never going to get lucky on Winnie the Pooh or Peter Pan, I feel like.
Peter Pan is tough. Peter Pan, you're never, I mean.
Yeah, pretty much anything in Fantasyland is busy all day until really like end of the day. Because kids are in Fantasyland 24/7.
Yeah, so I'm going to take those as my 3.
Okay. I'm actually kind of lining up with you on this, Damon, because so Space Mountain would actually be my first decision, then Seven Dwarfs, because I'm kind of over Seven Dwarfs, honestly. Like, it's, it was the new shiny thing, but...
Let's talk about Seven Dwarfs real quick, Trevor.
Okay.
You know what the biggest problem with it is? Like, the queue is awesome. I want to like make some of those epoxy gems for my house for like, when we were building this house, I was like,
sure,
dude,
yeah.
I would have loved a room that had like a pirate's treasure with those big epoxy gems. But the problem with the ride is it's actually too short. And I think that's just because of where it is.
The space.
And just the space. But the problem is that because it's so short, and you wouldn't think that a difference of 30 seconds would make such a huge difference, but it does. And it just seems like a wasted effort.
And that's kind of been my thing with it is, the last couple of times we've ridden it, it's like, it's great. And then you hit the mine, you get the nice little show in the mine, and then it's over too quick after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of over Seven Dwarfs. So it would be second for me just because, it's kind of a bit of that fear of missing out thing for me is,
Sure.
If I knew I could get on it and I didn't, I would feel, a little jilted on that. And then I would actually agree with you on Peter Pan. Just back to my statement about, kind of lining up to go to Haunted Mansion right after that is I would pick Peter Pan if I had intent of getting on Haunted Mansion right as the park opened.
All right. I think Epcot, we got to do 2, not 3.
Okay.
So, yeah. So it's either, I mean, I think for this, I go Frozen Ever After and I go Test Track because I think Soarin' you can get a shorter wait later in the day sometimes. Soarin's random because it's so high capacity. Sometimes you can get a shorter wait.
Here's the problem I have, right? Because Test Track is broken so often.
Yep.
If I pick Test Track and it's broken, I'm gonna be kind of mad because now I've just wasted my 30 minutes. It is broken so often that has to factor in for me. I think I'm gonna go Frozen Ever After and then Soarin', because Test Track just scares me that it's gonna be broken.
I get that. I get it. And if you go Soarin' too, like we've done this so many times, if you rope drop Soarin', you can usually ride it twice and not wait. Like pretty much you can go on, ride, and then come back out and go right back on again and ride it again. Like usually that's a possibility with Soarin'. Usually. And I'm betting during this 30 minutes you could probably pull that off if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think, Test Track, it's a gamble, but I would try for Test Track first. But if there was any inkling that, it's rainy or it might be closed, I would go straight to Frozen.
All right. So I think we also do 2 for Hollywood Studios. So I'm going to go Mickey Minnie and Toy Story Mania. I'm going Toy Story Mania.
Oof. This one's super tough for me.
I know Star Tours, right?
No. Star Tours
you can get like a 10-minute wait, like anytime during the day.
For me, this one, the Toy Story Mania, I feel like has to be on there because it is something that we enjoy doing. I'm a huge Rock and Roller Coaster fan, though, right? And that line, for whatever reason, the queue, it's terrible. It's packed. It's pushy. It's just a general terrible queue.
Yeah.
I think I go Rock and Roller Coaster Toy Story Mania just based on the queue of Rock and Roller Coaster and my love of Toy Story Mania, because Toy Story Mania queue is pretty good. But, especially in this day and age, I'm not trying to be pushed and packed up to the front like in Rock and Roller Coaster. So the earlier I can get on and out of that, better for me, pre-COVID, post-COVID, no COVID. Like, I'm just not trying to get sardined on rides anymore, just in general. So I'm going to go with that, because you ever, when you're in those areas and you're just like, did those people really just walk in front of me? Did those people just really do that? Did they, the frustration factor that comes along with a queue like that is annoying. Like, you don't have that in Toy Story Mania. No one's going to just be like, yeah, excuse me, I'm going to see Mr. Potato. Besides Potato Head's little area that maybe people take pictures and there can be some discussion about who was in line and who wasn't. Rock and Roller Coaster queue is just a frustration factor in general. I want to knock it out quick.
I've always wondered the correct etiquette on if someone stops in front of one of the interactive things, can you pass them or do you wait?
Ooh, Potato Head is a tough one. I feel like I look over, I give them I wonder what's happening look. You kind of slowly meander your way over. Yeah. And then if they go for a second or third pitcher, then it's fair game, right? Yeah. One pitcher and you're kind of almost there, I kind of, give them the benefit. But if they're multiple pitchers, they're pulling kids in and out, or sorry.
Yeah, I see, I think the worst one of that was actually Seven Dwarfs when they had the game going on. In the middle there with the gyms.
Well, in Space Mountain as well. Space Mountain had a bunch of games, and that was its own problem. But the only thing with that was a little bit different is that there was no opening, right? It was still a single line. Yeah, it was a little bit more, but you would see these huge gaps. And I don't actually I don't understand what people why they get mad at gaps, right? A gap isn't doing anything to you, right? A gap is not making you be later on that ride. If there's a gap and you're midway in the line and that gap is 25 feet, how does that hurt you? It doesn't do anything. They're going to move up eventually. So why do you care? But people get so bent out of shape about gaps. But the gap in Space Mountain would get rather large because people would be playing a game that was a little bit longer. And because it's a single line, you really can't pass them and there would be this gap. And people would lose their mind. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
So back to Hollywood Studios.
I was going to say, Trevor didn't pick his Hollywood Studios.
So I'm going to go with Mickey and Minnie would be my first pick. And then Tower of Terror would actually be my second, just because that's a favorite in our house. And I would want to get that done first.
Yeah, that could be a long line too.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's usually 45 minutes in the middle of the day. So
yep, for sure. So Animal Kingdom 2, I'm going Flight of Passage and Dinosaurs is where I'm going.
Nope, I'm sleeping in, not even getting up.
I would do Flight of Passage and Expedition Everest. Because we've actually done that. We rope dropped Expedition Everest and we got on it 4 times in a row, and then we were good.
It makes me sick when I ride it that much. So I would say if I put to the fire, it's Navi River Journey, because that is so much better than Flight of Passage. And then I'm gonna say I'd probably do Expedition Everest as well and ride it a few times. The only thing I kind of fear with that is that just because I rode it 4 times in the morning doesn't mean the kids aren't gonna want to ride it again. This list shows me that there needs to be more over in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, mine usually gets his fill after about the 4th go. He we don't have to go back and revisit it again. He's usually yeah, I've had enough. So, but I mean, that's my kid.
That's a line too that can be shorter during the day sometimes too, just because it's a real high capacity ride. So I feel like that one fluctuates too.
Yeah.
So. All right, so I think we went through this list, so that's good. Anything else we want to say about this? I mean, listen, I've said this before. I like the idea of this early theme park entry. I wish it was more than a half hour. It'd be great if it was an hour, but I'll take it.
I'm just glad that they have the evening hours. Honestly, I'm more interested in that. So kind of on the flip side of this, we were talking about rides you would rope drop. I feel it's the same thing on the other side, where towards the end of the day. Having that extra hour or 2 at the end of the day, I think is even better than this. So, but I would still take the 30 minutes, right?
No, for sure. And I mean, I think the difference there too is you're only talking deluxe resorts too, so it's an even smaller crowd, right? So it's all the lines should be much shorter there. But this isn't. I mean, it's not a terrible perk. I just like the idea of not having to track like, what park, what day. I like the idea of it being every day, every park. I just wish they could do it an hour instead of a half hour. That's all.
Right.
And I do feel like you're missing a lot on the Magic Kingdom list, at least. I'm trying to think of what's even missing on the Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom lists.
So yeah, Epcot's kind of an easy one because honestly, most of Figment's not on there, but it's kind of like Future World is everything's at the front of the park or from the main entrance. Everything is kind of right there as far as those rides go, because the backside is World Showcase, right? So
yeah. All we're really missing at Epcot is what? Living with the Land, Figment, and Three Caballeros, right? Like that's really all we're missing there.
Oh, and I guess Ratatouille as well.
Well, yeah,
so,
yeah. Yeah,
I guess it is changing a little bit, but yeah, it's still kind of easy. They can open up the front of the park. Hollywood Studios is honestly not that big of a park, and looking at it at this list, it's just they're just opening Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there's nothing missing there, right? I mean, other than the shows.
And Rise, of course, but that's to be expected.
That's Rise of Resistance, right? Yeah, so, and then Animal Kingdom. I mean,
same thing.
It's just Kilimanjaro.
It's the whole park minus Kilimanjaro, which again, I feel like there's some reasoning there. That there's probably some consideration of animals and
the animals,
and schedule and all that. Not. I mean, I don't know if I would be keen on waking up a lion early in the morning. Like we'd have to see how that goes.
Yeah, well, I mean, they sleep most of the day anyway, right? So
yeah, but that means that they're usually up, at night, and I wouldn't want a grumpy lion on Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, let's go ahead and do our second ad,
okay.
And then we'll talk about the rest of the stuff we have on here. So our second ad is for Monera Financial, and we talked earlier about DVC resale market. If you're looking to finance your DVC purchase of a DVC resale contract, look no further than Monera Financial. Monera, a World of DVC company, is the industry leader for financing DVC resale contracts. Monera offers lending with no credit checks, often very low down payments, terms as long as 10 years, and no prepayment penalties. If you're thinking of purchasing a DVC contract, go and check out their quick online quote first. You might be surprised at just how affordable joining DVC can be. Go to monerafinancial.com or call 317-245-8800, and when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you. Okay. We got some other stuff to talk about here.
Yeah. So where are we going next, since we've kind of...
Yeah, I know. We're all over the place. The Patreon members are going to laugh at this show because the outline that they can see is a mess. So let's go back to Fab 50 real quick, talk more Fab 50 really, really fast here. So we got Olaf and Bruni, one statue, Pluto, BB-8, and Simba. I don't think there's any really out of place here with the exception of Bruni. I feel like they just... threw that one in there. Like they could have just done Olaf by himself. Like I don't know.
I feel like with Frozen 2, that they've kind of tried to pair the two of them together, which is interesting because it's that fire and ice thing, right?
Yeah.
So
and they were kind of friends in the movie ish. Like they were kind of cool together in the movie.
Yeah. So I can see that that's fine. That's not completely outlandish. Pluto again, obvious.
That's an obvious, yeah.
And the only one here that really kind of stands out to me is BB-8, and not that, I guess BB-8 was definitely a big part of the last 3 Star Wars movies. But
I think BB-8's a very popular character, though, right? Like
it is, but is it Fab 50 worthy? I guess is my only question. Like
there's a lot of stuff in this Fab 50 that's not Fab 50 worthy, right? So.
That's kind of falling into that area of, is it really like, maybe I just I didn't see the hype behind BB-8 myself, or I didn't buy into it, so I don't see it that high up on the list. And this is the problem, right? We all have our own characters that we attach to, and just BB-8 was not one of those characters. Like I thought he was cool, but I wasn't like, oh my god, I love BB-8. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, I really enjoyed the meet and greet they had with BB-8. Like that was a very cool meet and greet because like he was moving around and everything and like beeping at you and all that fun stuff. Like that was a cool meet and greet. And I do think the character has, I mean, you don't feel like BB-8's like, I don't want to say as popular as like an R2-D2, but like he's up. I mean, I feel like he's pretty popular. He's up there.
Yeah,
you know?
like I said, I guess that's the thing. He is popular, but like R2 is
just not a thing for you. R2's R2, right? Yeah.
R2 is iconic, right? Like
sure.
If you're talking like top 50, BB-8 or R2, like just more people would just automatically say R2 because he's been around way longer than BB-8. So.
But I guess it just depends on what generation of Star Wars fan you go with, right?
True.
Like we have an R2 statue, right? So I think this is maybe appealing more towards the younger crowd.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
yeah.
I guess who did they cut for? Or let's pretend that BB-8 was at the bottom of the list. Like the 50th. I guess my only question would be, who would there be another character that they could put before BB-8?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is, right? Like you said, like this is one of those things. It's like the Oscars, right? There's always going to be snubs, like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's always going to be ones like, how did you not pick that one? Like, what's wrong with you? Like,
yeah.
So yeah, and I look at this more of them trying to like go for the younger Star Wars fan because like maybe for someone that's younger, and I don't know how your son feels about this, but I would think for the younger crowd, the BB-8 is their R2-D2. You know what I mean? Like. That's because they grew up with the new movies, right? As opposed to the old ones.
Maybe, except when my son had the choice to build a droid, he went for an R2 unit.
Okay, that's fair then.
So yeah. I feel there. I think it's more down to personal choice and just people either attaching more to they like R2 versus BB-8. It's. Yeah, I mean, I know it's just very much a personal thing at this point. I don't think it's a matter of age or anything.
No, I would agree with that. I would agree. But I just wonder if that's what they're going for. I don't necessarily think that's. I'm just wondering because I feel like they look at like the new trilogy as like for the young
Star Wars.
yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's like. Some people are like look at the new ones as like some of the older fans are like not my Star Wars, like I grew up with these movies, these 3 movies, and these are my 3 movies, you know what I mean? Like and so I'm not gonna like the new ones no matter what, and then kids grew up with the new 3. I don't know, but yeah, we don't have to talk about this anymore than we need to,
let's get out of that rabbit hole because that's gonna get us in trouble.
I mean, what else? What else are we gonna do? We always get ourselves in trouble. So
yeah.
At least we're not trying to say if it's AT-AT or AT-AT, right?
You had to bring that up.
You remember that one? That was good.
How could I forget that one?
That was a long time ago now, though, because that was when we were talking about Rise of the Resistance being built, and now we're like way past that. So
right.
Oh man, the things we remember about our old episodes. All right. So, the most magical story on Earth: 50 years in Walt Disney World to air October 1st. I'm not surprised by this. I'm kind of surprised they took so long to announce it, but I'm not surprised they're doing something like this. I kind of expected this.
Yeah, I think I can't think of a time where they haven't done a special of some sort, around anniversaries, even Christmas, right? And so this one in particular is going to be hosted by Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay.
Which
it's
fine.
She's a Disney legend.
Yeah, she's been around forever. That's it's fine.
And by the way, I don't say Disney legend like it's my opinion. She's like actually
they said that
they've made her a Disney legend, like so that's an official designation within the company. So if you're unaware, and I don't know if everybody knows that that's a thing, but it is. So and then there's going to be musical performances from Christina Aguilera and who's that? I almost said Halle Berry, but
I guess it's still Halle Bailey. Yeah. Yes.
I have no idea who that is. Maybe I'm just too old to know who that is.
Let me do a quick Google search for this.
Is that like a Disney Channel kid? Like
probably.
Somebody out there is yelling at their radio or their headphones and telling us, how do you not know who this person is? Oh, okay. She's the one that's I think she works for Disney, right? Oh, she's doing The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this the new Little Mermaid? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. She's doing the new Little Mermaid. Okay, cool. That's who that is.
Makes sense. Fine.
I didn't know that she like sang though. Like so.
Let's cast the Little Mermaid and not have her sing.
Yeah, no, I just didn't. I mean, I didn't know. You know, how was I supposed to know? I mean, I didn't know that she had like. I mean, does she perform? I mean, does she have like albums and stuff like that, or can she just sing? Like that's, I guess, what I was wondering.
Right. I guess I don't know enough about her. You know, you'd have to go look at her IMDb to figure all that out.
Yeah.
But
maybe she's going to sing one of the songs from the movie or something. Yeah.
But you know, obviously, you know, Christina Aguilera. You know, that's like, you know, she's iconic as well for
yes.
You know, Disney. Her what was it called? The Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah, but she was a Musketeer, wasn't she? She was, yeah.
So yeah, you know, that's a given. And is there anything else here? You know, this is the, you know, they're talking about, you know, there's going to be performances in front of the castle. This is your usual Disney special
celebration thing. Yeah. The Orlando Philharmonic's going to be there. Throughout the special, you'll see exclusive interviews with iconic actors, actresses, athletes, and Walt Disney World cast members, Disney Imagineers, executives past and present. I mean, I'm assuming Stamos is going to show up. I'm assuming Neil Patrick Harris is going to show up.
Yeah,
they're probably the
Bob Iger.
Two of the more famous. Yeah, Iger's going to be there. Yeah, if they got oh gosh, why am I blanking? If they got Eisner to be in there, that would be interesting, but I doubt it.
that weirdly awkward, like it's like the high school reunion kind of thing. Like, hey, I remember you. I didn't.
You know what though? If you watch the Imagineering story though, like he's in the Imagineering story, so they got him to talk for that documentary. But I mean, he really hasn't participated in anything like this before, so I don't know. Maybe they get him. Who knows? But, you know, there are some people that view him as the best Disney CEO because of, you know, the Disney decade and all the stuff he built. So, I mean,
yeah,
you know, it's possible. But, you know, those are the people that I expect to see. And, you know, I'm sure some of the more famous Imagineers will show up and, you know, that kind of thing. And I don't know about actresses and athletes. I mean, there are a couple, there's NBA players, I think, that own, I'm trying to remember who it is. Oh my gosh, there's a couple NBA players. I think they're brothers. They own a house in Golden Oaks and are like crazy Disney World fans. So maybe they'll talk to them. Who knows? But so there's that, and then let's see what else we got here.
Yeah. So there, one part that's standing out to me is it says the special will also spotlight some of Walt Disney World's most memorable pop culture moments, from many sitcoms that filmed episodes in the theme parks to the conception of the ubiquitous "I'm going to Disney World" campaign. So. I like that, like, because, you know, for me growing up, you know, you would watch certain shows and they would have, you know, like Full House had the Disney World episode, and you know, there was always that excitement around that, right? You know, you'd be watching a TV show and it's like, oh, they're in Disney World, that's so cool, right? So I'm interested to see how they revisit some of that stuff.
Also, I'm an idiot, and I just needed to scroll further down, and it lists all of the people that are going to be on here, including
John
Eisner.
Stamos,
including Eisner.
Gary Sinise, that's a huge one actually. Gary Sinise with because he brings a lot of kids to Disney World. Like,
yeah, he does.
Yeah,
his charity. Yeah. They got Tom Brady, Phil Simms, Doug Williams, Kevin Feige, Pete Docter, James Cameron, Bob Weiss. So I'm surprised but not surprised they got Eisner. That's so funny. We were speculating on that, and we had a list of all the people.
Maybe we should. I mean, to be fair, for anyone that's looked at the rundown, you know, there's a lot of words in here, and you know, we obviously don't. You know, we try and read as far as we can into it as we're doing this, but.
And even though I write it, sometimes I miss things. So, but so it's also going to take it's going to take viewers through the humble beginnings of Swampland. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot of that stock footage you've seen before, and you know, all that fun stuff. So so this should be interesting. Although I noticed no Neil Patrick Harris on this list, which is interesting. But you know, right? Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I mean,
because I feel like besides Stamos, he's like one of the more famous super Disney fans, you know?
Right. But I mean, I guess, you know, he may have a bit in here, but, you know, it could have also been a scheduling thing too.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's true.
Don't know what he's
it's worth noting that this is going to be on October 1st from 8 to 10 p.m. on ABC. It'll also be on Hulu, and it will also be on Disney Plus. Disney Plus, though, it looks like there's a bit of a delay. So.
Later in the month. So, And that kind of makes sense, as they want to try and promote it on ABC versus people just watching it on Disney Plus. But
yep,
yeah,
and Hulu, yeah.
Yeah.
I really don't want to hear from Tom Brady. I don't care to hear from Tom Brady.
Well, you wait for the Disney Plus version, and you can just skip over it.
I can just skip right over Tom Brady. Yeah, that's good.
Exactly.
So, okay, cool. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to watch this. I love these kinds of things. I mean, like in my house, we always watch the Thanksgiving one they do. We watch the Christmas one. We like watching these specials. They're always really well done. And this will be a cool one too, just because it's about the 50th anniversary and has, a lot of the history there, and they'll be talking to cast members and that kind of fun stuff. So that'll be cool.
Yep.
All right. Last thing we got. I saved this for last. Yeah, man. I'm just always going to call this the crepe place. I'm not going to try to even La Crêperie de Paris. Yeah, I just really butchered that, but I don't care. It's going to be the crepe place forever.
La Crêperie de Paris.
There you go. See, you did it the right way, the way it should be done.
Although I'm sure anyone who actually speaks French probably knows that I speak Canadian French, which is different than France French.
And I don't speak any French.
Any French.
You can.
We have
no
to learn
France
it in
for
school.
me.
That,
France.
It is an official language in Canada, so we do learn it up to a certain point. Make no mistakes, I'm not fluent in it, but I can at least understand some of it.
Yeah, there you go. So we got a menu. Mm-hmm. I want to eat this entire menu.
This ham, egg, and cheese one just looks so good. Like, I want one of these right now.
There's a lot of things that there's going on here. So there's savory, there's sweet, there's vegetarian options. They have different ones. Oh, and I didn't know this, by the way. So like this is like a quick service. There's like space to sit inside, but they're also going to have a crepe window that you can go to, which is also great. So like I've always just wanted a crepe window in my life.
That's that's perfect, because it's as you're walking by the pavilion going somewhere else, you can. This to me is the same way that like I will hit up Aloha Isle in Adventureland as I'm going somewhere else. It's like, hey, I need a Dole Whip. Even though I'm going somewhere else, I'm going to stop here and grab a Dole Whip on my way to somewhere else. If I can hit up, grab a crepe on my way to wherever, going from one side of the World Pavilion to the other, that's not a bad thing.
I also want to mention too, and this is, I mentioned this to my wife, if I ever were to try to drink around the world again, which I probably will not, but if I ever were to, this is great because they're adding, so this area is going to have hard ciders. So that's going to be a new option too. I'm a big hard cider fan. So it's I think a cool addition to here to this area. So I feel like the options in France before, if you were drinking around the world, were just basically like champagne and wine, and neither of those are my favorites. So I'm all in for having hard cider as an option here. So.
One thing I just noticed, you should probably point this out, is the walk-up crepe window does not offer. Yeah, it's a limited menu versus what's available if you go and sit down at the restaurant. So
yeah, can we talk about these what's on this menu? I feel like we need to, right?
Yeah, for sure. All
right, so we got the ham, egg. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the names of these things. We're just going to say what's in them.
Poulet, chèvre. Okay, I'm going to stop now.
So there's a ham, egg, and Swiss cheese. That's what you were talking about. These are savory ones, by the way. These are savory. Yeah. Then there's chicken, bechamel cheese sauce, and mushrooms. My wife would be into that. I don't like mushrooms, but I think my wife would dig that one. Then there's the goat cheese, spinach, and walnuts. Mm-hmm. Not my jam either. But
the smoked salmon, creme fraiche, chives, and lemon. Sounds really good to me.
Yeah,
I know you guys don't like fish, but that's good.
I should correct what I said before. I said I want to eat all these. I want to eat all the sweet ones, but the savory ones, there's a couple in there that I would eat. Like I would do this, the ratatouille one, tomato, zucchini, eggplant. But then there's a raclette cheese, onions, and ham. That sounds amazing too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the sweet crepes, we got hazelnut chocolate spread, aka Nutella.
Yeah, and whipped cream. I mean that's easy. That is the low bar of entry for
it's crepe 101, right? Yeah. And by the way, someone's going to point out that we're saying crepe wrong, and that's fine. It's what's a crepe is the way you're supposed to say it. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. I prefer saying crepe. Then you have banana and caramel salé. Is that how you say that?
Caramel beurre salé.
I don't know what that is though. Is that just like a caramel sauce?
It's a caramel butter sauce.
All right, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Give me caramel butter sauce any day. Then we got a peach red berry sauce and almonds. That one's different, but I'm not against that one.
Fruit ones are good, yeah.
Yeah. Pear chocolate ganache whipped cream. Again, sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
And then the last one, caramelized apples, and then the caramel
butter sauce, yeah.
Oh, yeah. By the way, you can also top these with homemade ice cream, too, house-made ice cream. So that actually mentions that in here, too. It doesn't mention it on the menu, but in one of the paragraphs we have up here, you can even top these with decadent delights with house-made ice cream, which, for me, if you're going to get the caramelized apple one, that one just screams, put ice cream on me, right? Like... Right. So
I'm going to ruin your day by saying that smoked salmon one with ice cream on it.
Oh, why would you? No, I'm assuming only for the sweet crepes, right? Like,
but what? There's nothing stopping you. You know, you can be chaotic if you want your chicken with ice cream.
That is a true statement. If you, I guess, I feel like they should just refuse. They should just get out of here. Get out of the park right now.
What are you doing? No.
Yeah, stop that. It is worth noting, though, the window does have different options, though, too. So they have a butter and sugar crepe there. They do not have on the inside menu. A red berry crepe, a chocolate or vanilla ice cream crepe, and hazelnut and chocolate spread crepe, which is on the other menu. And they do have a couple savory ones, too.
Yeah, cream of brie, cheese, the ratatouille again, and then bechamel, cheese and ham. So, yeah, a little bit different than the... I would still want that ham, egg, and Swiss cheese one over,
Yeah, that ham, egg, and I'm assuming this is going to be open. Did they say in here that it's going to be open for breakfast? Yeah, it does. So, like, that's a great breakfast option. If you ask me. Especially if you're coming from the oh gosh, what is that? Why am I blanking on the name of that entrance? Where you coming from Boardwalk?
International
Gateway, right? Yeah. Yeah, if you're coming from there, you're coming in right at France. So, like, you just go right there and go right to France and get yourself a breakfast.
Oh, totally. Yeah, you're staying at Boardwalk. You walk in and get your breakfast in Epcot.
Oh, such a great idea. This is great. I'm so glad. I know they had the cart before, which, by the way, not cart, but they had like a little stand. That is gone. They actually have removed that already.
Yeah, because they've got a window now.
At a full-on restaurant. So, and the pictures of these look amazing. Now, these look a little bit different than crepes I've seen in the past. Like they look like they're kind of like crispier. Like I guess I'm used to like softer ones, and maybe that's not like legit ones that I've had. But
so I guess the thing to keep in mind is that they look crispy, but that's they usually cook the crepe until it's it's very brown on the bottom. So it's not like I wouldn't expect these to be like fried crispy.
Yeah.
It's that they're folded, the bottom is brown, but then it's folded in on itself, right? So
yeah, and they mentioned here too that they're cooked at a high temperature, allowing them to become crispy and crunchy surrounding arrays of fillings.
Okay.
So
I
don't know.
I wouldn't expect it to be like a tortilla chip kind of crunch.
No.
It'll still be, because a crepe is kind of like a pancake, right? It's soft in the center. It should be, a little bit soft, not just... Yeah.
Well, they also mentioned here, by the way, I said Nutella, but they're saying that their hazelnut chocolate spread is house-made, so that's cool.
Well, okay. I mean...
it seems like everything house-made in here.
It's still Nutella. Great. I mean, you can make your own Nutella if you're really ambitious.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and I'm also just noticing this, too. I don't know how I... missed this, but the restaurant's going to offer a prefix menu that includes choice of super salad, one savory galette, I guess that's how you say that, right? One dessert crepe, and a glass of hard cider, soda, or juice. So it's a prefix menu,
like a combo, or you pick. Yeah,
that's actually like a lot of food, though. It feels like you get a soup, you get one savory, you get one sweet, you get a hard cider, a soda, or a juice. We don't know what the pricing's going to be on that, but still. I mean, that's a lot of items for, a prefix menu like that.
Sorry, that galette's bothering me. I need to know how to say this properly.
You need to know what that means?
No, just the pronunciation.
Galette. Oh, you want to know what the correct pronunciation is?
Yeah.
I mean, should it be like I don't know. What's the right way to say it? Maybe I'm saying it right, okay? Maybe I'm finally saying something correctly.
YouTube's not telling me.
YouTube's not telling you.
Yeah. All right. Never mind.
It's bothering you? Okay.
Yeah. Oh well. I'll look it up later. And
it's galette. It's galette.
Yeah. I figured, we probably had the wrong emphasis on some of the vowels.
Wrong syllable. Yeah. Yeah. No. No, it's galette. Yes. Okay. Yeah. But which I guess that's a little bit
is like a gallery, so it's like a selection of things, right? So
is that what it is? Is that what it means?
That's where my head is going with it. Again, just knowing French stuff or French words like that, they're usually kind of close to, or at least for me, I can kind of line them up from spelling and stuff to what they most likely mean in English.
According to Wikipedia, it means flat cake. Oh, it's a French term.
So they're actually referring to
the what you're going to get. So it's a term used in French cuisine to designate various types of flat, round, or freeform crusty cakes.
Oh, so that's a larger description of not just crepes, but cakes in general. Interesting.
In French Canada, the term galette is usually applied to pastries best described as large cookies. So that's what we got from Wikipedia here.
Yeah, but that's where that could get confusing, I guess, for some, somebody thinking that they're ordering cookies and they get a savory crepe, right?
I guess it could, yeah. But I mean, listen, I'm pretty psyched about this place. I'm definitely going to go here once it's open and I'm there. So, and I do plan on going in November. I don't have a room as of yet, but I'm trying. So, and I might end up having to pay cash just because there's no DVC rooms available. But we are going that time, and during that time I do plan on checking this out since it will be open. So,
good. Well, you'll have to either do a Facebook live stream or something to that effect if you're going to eat here. Because
for sure,
I think the viewers would appreciate your first take on it.
Yeah, no, for sure, and I'll definitely have to do that. But and if any listeners, I'm sure we have some listeners going for the first, going for the anniversary. And if you do and do happen to make your way over there, share some reviews with us. We'd love to hear about it. So.
Yeah, for sure. Tell us of the savory ones. I would like to know which ones. That of these ones that we listed off. We obviously kind of built our own impressions of them, but there may be a sleeper hit in here that we're not realizing. So
yeah, for this prefix menu, I'm definitely going. If I have to make my choice, I'm going with the ham, egg, and Swiss as my savory, and my sweet, I'm going hazelnut chocolate spread and whipped cream, or the caramelized apples and the caramel. I would have a hard time picking between those. Actually, and the banana one too. That's tough.
See, I would do the apple, and it would be a toss up between the ham and the smoked salmon for me.
The smoked salmon. Yeah. See, I'd have a tough time. I'm not sure what I would choose. So, all right.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap this thing up, man. I think we covered all of our topics today. This is great.
Yeah, that was good. So, okay. All right, let's start at the top. As usual, if you guys want to reach out to us, make sure you drop us an email at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We still get lots of great emails from you guys. We love hearing from you, and don't be afraid to drop us questions or even just share your own experiences or chat with us. It's all good.
There's so many ways to get us now. It's like Discord, Facebook, email,
right. Yeah, which so that was going to be the next thing. If you want to hit us up on Facebook, you can find us there as Welcome Home Podcast. And we also have the Welcome Home Disney Waitlist, which is our group for lots of good chat and meeting other fans of the show and just fans of Disney in general. So make sure you guys check that out if you're not in there already. And outside of that, there's YouTube and Instagram, which is Welcome Home Podcast and Welcome Home Pics. As we just mentioned, if we end up doing any kind of live stream, you'll be able to find that kind of stuff on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe there, or if Tom's in the park posting stuff, you can find that on Instagram. So, why would you not subscribe to those places so you can catch that stuff as it happens?
Yeah.
Yeah. And as usual, if you guys want some merchandise, you can always go to store.welcomehomepodcast.com. Obviously, as Tom mentioned at the top of the show, we are moving over to Teespring. It's just obviously it takes a bit to move stores like that. But, for now, you can grab T-shirts and mugs and stuff. And as we get over to Teespring, we're hoping we can offer you guys more stuff that, you can get some cool Welcome Home Podcast merchandise.
I'm pretty psyched for a pint glass. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean,
it's pretty cool that they.
I would probably just put it with the rest of my glass tumblers, but yeah,
Oh, Trevor, you know what they have on Teespring that they didn't have on TeePublic? Fanny packs, which are making a comeback. So
fanny packs.
They do. They have fanny packs, and we're gonna have Welcome Home fanny packs. And I already got them set up, and they have because fanny packs are coming back. Those are a thing. My sister, when she goes to Disney now, she wears a fanny pack. Like, it's a thing. And you see people wear them in the parks, too. So
my wife has actually always preferred a fanny pack because she usually, she carries a purse at home, but she's always said, when she's in the park, she doesn't want to be dealing with that. And a fanny pack, she can keep all the stuff that she needs and, her wallet and everything, but then it's not... she's not losing it or, having to worry about carrying an extra bag, right? So
there's definitely a picture of me in EPCOT wearing a fanny pack in the 90s. I can promise you that. It exists somewhere. Me as a child wearing a fanny pack in the
I don't know if I could wear a fanny pack again. I like my my cross body pack that I like, my day pack. So I don't know if I could go back to just a fanny pack.
I get that. Yeah, I get it. But we're going to have fanny packs, so if you want a branded fanny pack.
Yeah, if anyone wants to sport the fanny pack, make sure you keep an eye out for that. That'll be coming.
That'll be coming. Yeah. Coming soon.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Oh, yeah, so exciting.
Yeah.
So
we need to mention this as well, as we also have a Patreon now. So make sure if you guys want to just support the podcast and maybe get a little bit of extra exclusive merchandise to Patreon, go to patreon.com/welcomehomepod. That also gets you access to our Discord server at any level of support to the Patreon. So if you like Discord or you want to get in on that, make sure you guys check out Patreon.
Discord has been really fun too, because we're really casual in there, and if you really want to get to know us, we're just kind of chatting it up on there,
Yeah. So that's a good place to just chat, and I'll put this out there as well as I'm trying to I've done this once so far. I've announced it ahead of time that I was just going to get on the voice channel, but so Discord, you have the ability to just get into a voice channel and talk with other people. I'm planning to do that more often. So, at various times throughout the week, I may just hop into the voice channel. If you guys actually want to, talk with myself and maybe Tom, I
like the pre-show before we record too. It's fun too. So that's
So
you've been opening it up right before we record and, talking a little bit on there, but no one has joined us yet. But I mean, we still have a small population of Discord people.
Exactly. So as it gets bigger, if you guys want to chat with us, that's a good place to just come and have casual conversation.
Yeah.
And last but not least, as was mentioned earlier on the show about reviews, please do leave us a review on iTunes. Apparently, I thought that Google had the ability to review podcasts, but I guess not. Or I guess not every platform.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah. So
nobody else does, actually. Yeah, it kind of stinks. It's all Apple.
Yeah, that's super annoying. But, if you guys can, we definitely appreciate if you can leave us a review, because it does help more people find the podcast. And we love hearing your guys' feedback. So make sure you guys, if you can, you don't have to go and sign up for iTunes, but if you do happen to have an account, we do appreciate reviews from you.
We do. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn,
and Stitcher.
Spotify. What? Where the? What is that?
That was awesome.
That was amazing. Wait, Damon's been here the whole time?
I think he just came back.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I just came back to do something.
That's
and I was like, these guys are still talking? Oh my goodness. I'm glad I got off.
We're finishing up right now. That was I hope everyone stays till the end of the episode just for that.
That was perfect.
I feel like we need to tease this on the group to stay till the end. Anyway,
I think we should just clip that.
Just clip that out. Yeah. So you can find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, just about any podcast app you can find us. Just search for Welcome Home and look for the one that's Disney and DVC. Just a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We're not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, all opinions we express on the show are our own. So please consult a Disney representative or DVC cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. Speaking of that, by the way, really quickly, one of my good friends was a DVC cast member that was laid off during the layoffs. They just got back to their job at DVC. I was very happy to hear that. They're also my guide too, so it's really nice to see some of the cast members coming back, which is really great. So anyway, big thank you to sponsors DVC Resale Market and Monera for sponsoring this episode. Please check them out if you're looking to buy a resale contract or looking to finance that resale contract. Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert A. Wall, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit a chair. How she can cuddle is no